If you click this video, you're probably going through it, most likely overcome with thoughts and negativity, and you probably have a lot of enemies in your life that are tribulations that you faced, in which you want to react in a rageful way, or like you want to react in a way that's going to make it seem like you're really in power. You're going to want to do things that make you seem, almighty or whatever, but, in actuality, this is one of the biggest burdens you can carry in your heart. When your back's against the wall and you really have no other option but to fight, the emotions that you typically go through are, wrath. Like, this is one of the most poisoning things that you can possibly do to yourself. When Lucifer, or who we know as Satan, turned away from God and denied humans, God didn't kill him. God is omnipotent. He has the ability to destroy whatever he wants or create whatever he wants. Yet, despite his unlimited powers, he decided not to kill Lucifer, but instead have mercy on him, and, despite making him the image of, hell and doom for eternity, at the end of the day, killing Lucifer would in turn make him that way. And, obviously God is all-knowing, so he knew this, and instead of killing Lucifer, he allowed him to live. He's not like the devil himself, He's able to think more grandiose and have mercy, in a sense. And despite us knowing this, we oftentimes overlook it, and we feel like this kind of idea of mercy or kindness is weakness. And I totally see where that's coming from, and I totally understand that point of view. And there are times in which I agree, deep in my heart I'm like, angry or whatever, but like and reacting in a way that's like passive, I guess, is kind of a weak thing to do. But when you know that you have the power, and when you know who you are, that's when you're truly free, because nothing at that point can really impact you. Do you really think the devil impacted God? No. When your demons speak to you, or when, something outside of your control is annoying the fuck out of you, you have to remember that you're above it, in a sense. Because at the end of the day, you do have the power to control yourself. And I know you heard this a million times. But, I'm hoping this story I kind of told you really hammers that point in, because, anyone could say that, everyone can hear that. But what makes the difference is really how you imagine, how you perceive it. Because, there are times before, when you're typically more immature, that you view this kind of weakness, and you're like, fuck, I'm so mad, I'm trying to take out my anger, yada yada yada. You start going to the gym and shit, and you're like, oh, I'm fucking angry, whatever. But bro, like, that's a good way of taking it out. But like, you guys don't understand how much potential you have, and you holding this burden of your thoughts and this anger, or annoyance or negativity, whatever it may be, that's a poison. You're poisoning yourself. Okay, you're holding a rock that you want to throw at someone else, and this coal, it's burning coal, and it's in your hand, and the only one getting hurt is yourself. You are hurting yourself by holding on to these negative emotions. My personal view is that people are actually born good. I think people are totally born good. I remember when I was a child, I loved like everything, it seemed like. Yet I feel like most men today, and most women too, this is why kind of hookup culture is a big thing. This is why you see so many like negative kind of events occurring in today's world. It's, society in a sense makes us quote unquote evil. However, I feel like there's a certain number of people, there's a lucky few, who actually reflect and realize this. It's like when example of this is like, I personally I'm a Star Wars fan, so it's like when Anakin, right, when he turns into Darth Vader, right? He's consumed by rage and consumed by anger and consumed by, his lust for power. And this is what turns him into this decrepit robot cyborg, who's constantly in pain all the time and full of regret, right? It's another big thing. It's like when you're full of hate and when you actually end up getting what you want, all that's going to consume you is emptiness, and it's really not worth it, But as I was saying, the few who do end up realizing that there is light and that they need to drop this darkness because they realize how futile it is, are the ones who really become free. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all chasing, right? So you have to let go of everything. You have to become like God, in a sense. Not be God, okay? Don't get an ego. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying become like God. He gave us an example of what to follow, and therefore we should follow that example. So treat your enemies with kindness is what I'm telling you right now. And don't think you're better, but think of yourself less, and think more from their point of view. And at times I could be a hypocrite while saying this because it's a very hard thing to do. I'm not saying this is an easy feat at all. I'm telling you guys that you need to try to practice this, okay? Because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to be benefiting from it.